Again with the racism.
Oh my God. You're getting predictable. I mean, pretty much every time now.
And yet I still beat you to it.
For anybody listening, he's always full of shit.
That's not
He
true.
He lives to give me a hard time.
It's not true.
Mm-hmm.
So you said you're going blind because you're really, really old.
That's not exactly what I said. But yeah, kind of. I mean, you know, I'm 50 and I have a hard time seeing things like this now. Shut up, bitch. You'll be here tomorrow. I promise. That's how fast
50.
it happens. Yeah.
50.
Yeah. I was just telling him right before we started recording. We were not talking about racism or anything of the sort. We were talking about how my contacts keep coming out of my eyes. So I'm in glasses today.
I want you to think about something as we think about how fucking old you are.
Oh, yeah. Let's focus on that.
So what do you consider, like, if I said a 1964 Mustang, you think, wow, that's a classic car, right?
Yeah, it is.
Do you know what a classic car really is?
What, a 2000? A 2005 at this point? Anything older than
1998?
Is it 25 years or something?
25 or 27, yeah.
Oh, man. So like 2001?
Uh-huh.
A 2001 is a classic now?
Yeah.
That's just unreal. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's vintage auto. Mm-hmm. So, like, what was it? You remember the movie was it Dazed and Confused?
Yeah.
Fucking love that movie, right?
Mm-hmm. Everybody did.
Yeah, everybody did. Mm-hmm. So that movie came out like, I think it was like 15 years or something after. Like it's 93, 94, right? Mm-hmm. And so it was like 77 or something like that. So if you did that movie today.
Well, you'd get canceled right away.
No. If you did that movie today, it's like 2011.
Those games aren't fun. Those games aren't fun.
The Wonder Years is the same thing. Wonder Years is worse.
Yeah, you're right. It's hard enough just running into like when I came up for the birthday party last weekend, running into nieces and nephews that have grown significantly since the last time you've seen them. That is hard enough. When you run into people that acquaintances that you run into that you don't see all the time every couple of years, and then you're like, oh my God, he's got facial hair. Like, oh my God, like,
yeah,
she has braces. They just go from little bitty things that bounce around to, it happens too fast.
Yeah, I mean, the birthday party. So my daughter, there's some complications there, but call her my daughter until all this is done. Yeah. She is.
She is and always will be. Yeah.
Yeah. We're just waiting on the legal process. Mm-hmm. Her half-sister's father, foster father, however you want to pose it. I think they had a tiptoe around things like that until I can finally one day tell the story.
Right.
It's a fucking hell of a story.
Story, yes.
So that guy and I went to school together in high school. We haven't seen each other since I haven't seen him since I graduated.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, I've not seen him since then.
Did you guys get along? I kind of wanted to ask you that, but then I was like, that's awkward if the answer is no, so I didn't. I just kept walking.
Like, were he and I on bad terms? No.
Okay.
Which
weren't buddies?
No, we weren't pals. And did I not get along with people he was really good friends with? Oh yeah.
I mean, that's also high school too.
Yeah, but in the thing, like, look back, it's 100% high school. Like, he's an entirely different cat now than he was then.
So are you.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know.
So are you.
I'm still pretty, like, I look at like my life and the things that like.
Yeah, but no, like outside looking in, you got to think, okay, like what you knew about him is all that he let you know or that you got to see at school. Same for you. What they knew about you is the same. And what they knew about you was you were a poor kid whose dad was absent. You had some really crazy family relatives with a bad name in town already that were not helping. Like,
see, the crazy thing is nobody actually really knew that about me in school.
I thought they all knew that. I thought 'Cause small towns, they all talk. Everybody knows everything.
The parents do, the kids don't.
The kids listen to
So,
their
like
parents.
no, because, like, I worked for people, so, I had money in my pocket. I had nice clothes. My car wasn't, but that wasn't unusual either. Some people just didn't
Yeah.
buy their kids brand new Mercedes in our school, but some did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how that rolls. So, like, I always had cash in my pocket because I always worked. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I was blessed to be able to work for people who put me in trades that paid really well. While everyone else was making $5.50 an hour at Walmart, I was making $27 an hour. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
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 So, I just whatever you want to do. Sure, I got cash to do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, yeah, I always had that. So they didn't really know. Like, I dated one girl in high school, and when I told her, like, I'm from a broken home and blah blah blah, and she found that out, she was like, "What?" She had no idea. Like, it's amazing how
Hmm.
many people didn't know that. And I was still ridiculously popular,
Hmm.
um, to a point
Was
that
this guy
it's
popular?
kinda. I mean,
Yeah.
for his grade, but, like, it's hard to, like, if I say, like, it sounds boastful. It's not boastful. I was somewhere between famous and infamous. Everybody knew me.
Yeah.
Everybody in grades well below me knew me. Everybody in grades above me, adults knew me because of the people I worked for. I was lucky enough to work for. Adults knew me. The mayor knew me. Like, the people, like, they knew me.
Mhm.
Everybody knew me.
Yeah.
You know? Um, and the crazy thing is I look so different. I think mostly the beard. If I shave my beard, they'd be like, "Oh." You know?
Yeah.
My face hasn't changed, but the beard hides me. And, I'm a lot fatter now too. But,
It's one thing that
uh,
really like, side note, we gotta come back to this, but the fact
yeah.
that men can, like, grow a beard and cover their face really pisses me off.
And we change. Like, we look
'Cause
like a different person.
women cannot do that. Well, I guess it'd be weird if we did.
If you got some hormone shots and started driving a Subaru, you could.
Wrong kind of hormone shots I need to be taking.
But, Subaru dick. But yeah, so you can blend in, and I try not to raise any waves there, right?
Yeah.
So, there's no point in that. But yeah, like, I mean, we were in the room together, like, so he and I met obviously before the party. We met at the courthouse, and, like, he'd been the 5th set of people over this poor little girl that I'd met, and so I'm not even trying to get to know
Yeah.
anybody more,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's like, dude, you're
Yeah,
gonna
that's
be fun
fair.
too. And then we start talking, and he tells me when he graduated, and I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I graduated in X," and I was like, "Oh, you definitely knew me." And then he's like, "What?" I was like, "Oh, I'm famous." And his wife, who graduated, who's younger than him, who wouldn't have gone to school with me at all. I was like, "She probably knows me." And when I told him who I was, he's like, "Oh, yeah." I remember
That's
you.
so funny.
Like, "Oh, yeah." Uh, yeah.
Mhm.
He's a teacher. He's a teacher in that same school now. It's crazy. That's crazy how that goes. Uh,
For what it's worth, he seemed like a really good dad.
he did. I
The way
mean,
he handled a few different situations I was able to witness, I was like, "Wow, that was top notch." That was
he
top
is.
notch parenting.
He's
Mhm.
a really good dude. His family's great. Like,
I recognized the last name when you introduced us. I had a pause. I was like, "Oh, pretty sure
yeah,
I
if you've
met
been
some of
around
them
there,
back
you've
in the
heard of their
day." Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something I had told the caseworkers and stuff that were involved. I was like, "Listen, you may think you know who he is, but, like, I grew up around his people. Like, they're really good people. Like, when this little girl, everything's said and done, she's gonna have roots. She's gonna have a family. She's
Yeah,
gonna
to
have
have a whole support
so many
system.
cousins and aunts and uncles,
Yeah.
and, like, she's gonna be showered in it, like, protected. She's gonna be
Yeah.
wrapped because that's what they do. They
Yeah.
wrap a little envelope around their people, and,
Yeah.
she'll have farms to plant. Like, it's all there. It's all there. Um, yeah, yeah.
If only every little girl could be so lucky.
It's a miracle. It's a
Yeah.
miracle. And that little girl, my wife and I, we've just been worried sick about. But there's reasons we couldn't try and take her.
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, it's worked out.
No, it
It's
worked out beautifully,
yeah,
perfectly,
it took a little
perfectly.
time, but it's
Yeah.
worked out. Yeah.
No, he's turned into an admirable man. I'll give him that. He's turned into
Mhm.
an admirable man from the boy he was. You
Yeah.
know.
You too, dude.
Oh, I was a lot wilder than him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you have your opinion of him, but I bet he's probably doing the same thing. Like, oh my God, that's David Bannister. Yeah, you know, like,
We talked about that. He had sort of mentioned it and trying to be in a polite way, like looking
yeah.
at our house and the life and everything kind of running around. And then like things we're talking about, the things I'm involved in my city and things like that. And he's just like, what?
Didn't see that coming. Yeah.
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 I was like, don't worry, I'm still on terrorist watch lists, but
You know, it's nice to surprise people, isn't it?
I don't know.
I think it is.
I don't know. I mean, that's not a joke. I still am on watch lists.
No, I know. But you know what I mean? It's nice to surprise people from the past that judged you and thought you were going to turn out a certain way or made certain opinions. And I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know that he knew me well enough or we interacted enough. I think he's just surprised that I'm not running a cartel or a cult or you know what I mean on a most wanted. Like, I think that like again, this sounds boastful, and I don't mean it to be, but I remember because he and I were talking about like teachers that we had because things from back in the day come up, things he hadn't thought about in forever.
Yeah.
And he found out that I graduated like I think second or third. I think I was second from bottom of my class or third from bottom of my class.
Oh, you shouldn't say that out loud.
I don't care. It's not a big class.
It's true. I don't know if that makes it better or worse.
I don't know. And he looked at me. He's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, you can look it up, man." And he's like, "How?" He's just like, "How?"
Yeah.
And I told him I was I calculated everything. I knew what I had to turn in. I knew what I had to do. I had every class clocked, and I was just bored most of the time in school. Not that I'm a genius. I'm not. I'm just for that particular school. They did not have enough to intellectually stimulate me to keep me out of trouble.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it just calculated past that. And I told him the only reason I wasn't dead last was because of two coaches that I had, my track coaches. And they like, I think I can say it now. I don't think it matters anymore. I'd never want to get them in trouble or anything, but I had this one chemistry teacher and she called me into her office like right as I was heading out to like track, and she's like, "David, what's going on?" And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "You have 9 zeros." I was like, "Yeah, but my grade's a 71." And she's like, "Yes, it's a 71, but you have 9 zeros." And I was like, "Yeah, but I have a 71." And she's like, "Did you do this on purpose?" I was like, "Of course I did this on purpose." I was like, "I'm passing. There's nothing more to turn in. I'm done." And she's just like, "Oh my God." And she's like, "You know what? I'm giving you hundreds for all the zeros." And I was like, "Well, I don't think you can do that." And she's like, "I can do whatever I want." She's like, "Because every other grade that I had was a 100. Whether I got hundreds on all my tests, which were like 65% of the grade. And then I had to turn in so many assignments and lab.
So why did she do that if you're passing? What was the point?
Her and my other coach was my history teacher. And I think I was like a 74 in his class, or I think I was 75 because I had aced all the tests. So it was a 75. But I'd never turned in any of the other work. And I guess him and her had been talking. And she didn't say anything. She's like, "Well, this is what I'm doing." And she's like, "That will give you a 100 in the class." And I was like, "Well, I didn't earn it." And she just looked at me and she said, "It's not about what you can earn. It's about what you can do." And I was like, "Well, whatever." It stuck in my head to a point that I didn't quite understand at the time. But my other track coach called me in the next day. And he's like, I'm not giving out their names, but he said, "I just had a conversation with the other coach." And he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You have a 75 in here." He's like, "I didn't know that until like I looked at it." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I'm passing." And he's like, "You made a 100 on all the tests, but you've not turned in any assignments." And I was like, "No, I don't want to do the assignments. It's pointless. I made 100 on the test. I'm like a 75. I'm out." And he's like, "I'm going to give you hundreds on all the other things." And I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "I'll never forget. Like this actually stuck with me." He told me, he's like, and I didn't understand it then, but I understand what he was trying to do. I understand what they were trying to do is they were trying to motivate me. And he said that there are people who are wastes and there are people who are potential wastes. And you have to choose which one you are. And I was like, "What?" I get it now. I get it now, right? Yeah, I get that now. But at that time in my life too, with everything that was going on, especially that year, my senior year, I got into a lot of trouble. I
Yeah.
just didn't care,
Yeah.
right?
You just wanted to be done.
I just wanted to be done.
Yeah.
And so I think they did that as a kindness. And they did. I see that now as an adult looking back. Like, I'm about the age they were, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just didn't want me to think they could see me heading down to a lost path, and they didn't want
Yeah.
that to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did. I was lost for a while. Yeah.
Well, bumping those GPAs up would have helped you get into college, which you did later.
Yeah, I mean,
Instead of having to
I
retake
still
things just to
yeah, I still got into a private school, but I had to write an essay for it. Like, that's the crazy thing. Like, they called me when I got in. They called me when I got into this school. They said, "Listen, your GPA is nowhere near what you need to get in here." He's like, "But the essay that you wrote, like, it's a 3-page essay. They're like, that was phenomenal, and based on that, we would like you to come." And even then, when I went there, I shouldn't have gone to that school. I shouldn't have. It was good that I got away, but I shouldn't have gone to that school.
Why
Like,
should you not have?
it hurt my faith. It was a Christian school.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about yeah.
Yeah, it was a Christian school, and
Oh, why can't you say on here?
I just don't want to. People
Okay.
feel all kinds of ways about it.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it that's what got me in, right? Like, I wrote, like, a paper to go with it. I didn't have to, but I did.
I remember you barely got in too, right? Like, you made, like, the
No,
wait list, and it was just like
no,
this.
I didn't make the wait. No, they took me. There was no wait list. The thing was, it was the thing you might be remembering is this call. They called and said, "Listen, your grades are unbelievably low. Like, we're going to put you on academic probation. Like, as soon as you're here, you're on academic probation. Like, this is." I probably had the lowest GPA in the whole fucking school, you know. And when I got there, I felt a little free, maybe for the first time. That, like, not like free that I'm away from the house. I'm like free that I just got through this legal battle, that I was facing prison time. You know what I mean? And that's gone, and I won, and everything's done, and my
Yeah.
life and reputation and things that I thought I had, that all got destroyed. No real fault of my own, weirdly enough. It just kind of came. Circumstances came for me. And when I went to this school, I was just a little free. I was free from that. That's what I needed to get away from. I was free from that. But the worst part was sticking me into, because at this time too, the other thing I was toying with was going into the military. And I think going into the military would have been a worse choice by far. By far, for me at that moment, would have been a worse choice. Actually, when I talked to the recruiter and I told him the legal trouble I was in, he's like, "Not only do you have to get that settled, but you're going to need some time. We're going to need letters." And I was like, "I don't want to fucking do that." And when I applied to the school, and it's the only school I applied to, by the way, that was the only college I applied to, at the recommendation of other people that I probably shouldn't have been listening to. And at the time that I had applied, it was optional to, like, write a thing. You could just turn in your grades, or you could turn in your grades and write, like, what if your grades weren't strong enough. I knew mine weren't strong enough. My standardized testing wasn't strong enough because of the circumstances around how I took that. But whatever. So, like, on face value, you shouldn't have took me, but I wrote my essay, and I turned it in with it in hopes that I would sway them. And it did. Like, the dean was the person who called me and was like, "Listen, I just read this." And he's like, "I'm going to let you in." "I think you can do it." He said, "I don't know what's going on with the grades." He said, "But I just read a paper written by someone who doesn't make grades like this. This doesn't make sense." And he's like, "I believe in my heart we should give you a chance." And I was like, "I really appreciate it." Luckily I didn't say, "I'm not going to let you down." I definitely let him down. Because I didn't give a shit about school. I didn't give a shit about the people who were there. I was more in a crisis of faith in what I need to be doing with my life.
And there's a
Yeah.
lot of partying going on there too.
There was a lot, and I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming at all.
Because you thought you were going to a little private Christian school, and you're going to be surrounded by other people of the same faith going down the same path,
Yeah.
looking for the same answers, and
Yes, and that's not at all what was there.
it was all alcohol.
Yeah, is alcohol and other stuff is all, you know, mega church kids and the people that are involved with mega church and mega religious. Like I went to school with Benny Hinn's kids. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and it that was bad for me. You know, forget academically, just for my soul. Like I wasn't inspired by any of my classes. I was bored by all my classes. Yeah, it took me a while to gain any academic interest in anything. I had to grow up. I had to grow up and calm down. You know, I had to grow up and calm down. Yeah.
I was very excited for you.
Yeah.
It was very exciting. I would say for our family, but it's really just you, me, and mom at that time.
Mhm.
But like just that you made it in there. Taking you there and dropping you off was proud. I was proud. I was a proud sister.
Yeah. And like I went back the next year and I was like, well, I'm gonna have to do this. And the craziest part of that is I became a D1 athlete.
Yeah, for cheer, bitch. Don't scream it out loud.
But I mean, yeah, whatever. I was a D1 athlete and I walked on and got a fucking scholarship.
So crazy.
It's so crazy. That's it, because when I was there, I didn't have enough money and there was no way for me to get any more money. And this kid I was in a class with, I was like, man, I can't stay here. Like, there's not enough money. And he looked at me and he's like, you look like you're a pretty big, strong dude. I was like, I am a big, strong dude. And he's like, how strong? I was like, stronger than I look. Like, I'm freakishly strong. And he's like, perfect. Have you ever done cheerleading? You ever thought about that? And I was like, no. No. He's like, well, there's money. He's like, if you can get on the team, because we're in desperate need of guys, you can get money. And he's like, all you have to do is pick the girls up, throw the girls, learn a little routine to do it with. He's like, there's some other stuff, but he's like, there's money. And so I was like, whatever. He's like, tryouts are tonight. So this was a God thing.
Yeah.
That this guy was put here for me. I really think, like, looking at it, like, God kept me there to let me heal, because it did. It let me heal in a way that I couldn't have healed anywhere else. It exposed me to things that I would never have been exposed to otherwise, good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I went for the tryouts and they like showed me what to do and I did it. And then I had the girl here and they're like, you can push that up? And I was like, yeah. And I pushed her up, and they're like, can you do it again? You know what I mean? Down and up. And then we did some other stuff and I caught it pretty quick. And again, I wasn't as fat as I am now. And they like gave a quick tutorial of how to do like a back tuck. You know what I mean? And I did it. I was pretty athletic. Like, there's okay, bam. And they're like, all right. And they told me how much the scholarship was going to be. And I told them, I was like, that's not enough money. I was like, I can't stay here for that. This is what I'm lacking. And the coach lady was like, okay, we'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. I'm like, no shit.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
And so, like, the next day, I show up, fill out all my paperwork. And so I think the technical definition of D1, because we didn't compete, so I don't think we got it, even though it was a D1 school. But we got all the fucking swag. I still have that swag. You got the shoes and all this shit and cards to spend money. And like, here's your DM when we go here. And here's again, I didn't have any money. I had nothing. I was like, I don't know how I'm getting through this. That provided everything. And not only that, like when we started going to cheer gyms, like we were offered opportunities to work there and make money on the side. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, what's going on? This is all worked out. So that just became everything I did. And then I got double hit syndrome.
You got what?
I got a concussion. And then I got another concussion. Yeah. And I went to the hospital for a couple of weeks.
How'd you get concussions?
I don't remember. That's the point of the concussion.
Back to the partying. Yeah.
No. It was during practice. Practice before they've told me the story. I don't remember, but we were doing these basket tosses like long ways, and the girl came in and they're supposed to like bring themselves in. Well, she didn't, and her elbow caught, I guess, me somewhere in the head, and like we held her and got her there, and they said I'd fell down for a second, and I was like, I don't remember. But they were telling me like, "Are you okay?" Whatever, and they said that I told them I was fine. I got up and we're doing it again, and the bitch, I guess, did the same thing again, and this time
Oh.
it laid me out, and
Ah,
I don't really remember anything else till about 2.5 weeks later.
dang.
Like I'm standing in line at at the food hall, right, like the cafeteria, which was
Mhm.
center. And so I'm in the cafeteria, and I'm just like, I remember being in the cafeteria and like looking around like, how the fuck did I get here? What's going on? And my buddy, the guy who lived across the was like walking me by my arm, and I'm just like, Joe, what the hell am I doing here? And he's like, oh, look at that, you're back. I'm like, what?
That's crazy.
Anyway, they told me about it. Apparently, I even took some tests. Like they walked my ass to class.
That's scary.
That's terrifying. Like for the
Yeah.
first, like I was in the hospital for a while because they didn't want me to go anywhere, and they didn't. And with head injuries are weird because you don't really know. Like someone can talk to you like they're fine, but they're not fine. You know, and so they're
Mhm.
like, well, just watch them, and they're supposed to be having people check in on me and stuff. And my buddy from across the hall said, we checked on you one night. You were just sitting there in your bed, just sitting up, staring at the fucking wall.
What the heck?
Yeah, it's like my roommate, because I still had him there at the time. He went and he's like, hey, like set me right with that big old white boy. Like I'm not being in there. Well, he's just been staring at the wall for the past 6 hours. Like I don't think that's okay.
No, that's not okay.
Anyway, yeah. But like after I got hit, like I lost vision for a while. I guess, I mean, it's all like I've had spotty parts of it. Like I don't know if I'm recalling it or I've been told the story enough that it like formed its own memory in your head, you know.
Mhm.
But it's spotty. Anyway, I tell you, it's some real head trauma. Anyway, I went back to it. Once I was cleared, which was about a week after I kind of came to in the cafeteria. And the weird thing is that was like right through midterms, like my first set. So I smoked myself. You know what I mean? Like I'm drugged out, like just not drugged, but you know, discombobulated.
Yeah.
I can't believe like, and I even went to some of them and I was like, listen, I had major head trauma. And they're like, well, you're walking around. Obviously, if you were in the hospital, you were fine. I was like, what a dick thing to say. Like, dude, I can show you. Like I should never have been here. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, I went back the next year and the same problem came again. I was missing the same amount of money. And the cheer squad was like, listen, you did really good. We'll give you more money. And I was like, you almost cost me my life. You genuinely almost cost me my life. I'm not doing that. You know. And I came home. And then I went to work.
So you started your second year, but then came home after a couple months.
Yeah. Like once, like, okay, we have to have this money. And the cheer team was like, they were gonna I think it was actually more than double the amount of money they gave me last time. So I would have been like balling. And I was just like, I don't know if I can get hit in the head like that again. You know what I mean? Like, and even then, like, that changed me. I know it changed my personality. It definitely changed me. Head traumas do that. I think it took a while for me to understand, but some part of me I know then was like, I'm different now, and I don't understand why. I cannot.
Well, when I dropped you and you were like 18 months, you were different after that.
Yeah. So you know, this isn't good. I can only take so many.
There's a pattern there. Yeah.
Take so many of these shots. Yeah. So I said no. Like that was it. I could have stayed there. Absolutely. They would. I could have gone the rest of the time continuing to do the cheer, and it would have paid for everything. And yeah, I was like, I'm not doing that.
Well, you coming home worked out.
Yeah, it was a roundabout way.
Yeah. I'm sorry if I seem a little distracted. The pool people are starting today.
Oh, nice.
So while you've been talking for the last few minutes, they are backing up a dump truck and they're out there. They got all kinds of noises, people shouting. And then I get a text we've got a screen coming from the patio people. It's like,
boom.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Making things happen.
It's exciting.
I'll tell you something though, since we're talking about this, it jogs my memory. So like when I had that real brain trauma, like medical brain trauma. I couldn't get my professors then to let me do a retake or anything on my tests at that school. Like they wouldn't be heard of. Cooked all those
Wow.
classes. Oh yeah, they didn't give a shit. They're like, you were here, you took like.
They just thought you were just full of shit.
No, they were just dicks. Like they were dicks. In a way that I've only met one other time in my collegiate pursuits. But like I went to this community college in Nashville State Community College for a while, and I had this accounting class, and it was the very first test. There were 4 tests, and the guy's like, "We have 4 tests. That's your whole grade. These 4 tests." I tell you, I go to so I had from different things in my life. I had a cracked tooth that had been repaired, and it finally like exploded, and it was bad, and it was in a ton of pain, and so we had everything scheduled to like get it removed and root canal and put in all that kind of stuff. That was all ready to be done. But in that interim, in that little bit, I had to just deal with the pain. So they gave me these pain pills. I don't like pain pills.
This was all while you were at school? Or?
Yeah, when I was at Nashville State. When we were living off. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is like my first accounting test. It's really my first foray kind of really back into school in a serious way. And I'm trying to take it seriously, and I am taking it seriously. But I'm like, man, I have to get there to take this test, but this thing is killing me. And they gave me these pain pills. I don't remember what they were. And I was like, oh, how many am I supposed to take? 2? Sure. Bam. Whatever. I remember driving there, right, through Nashville traffic. And then I remember coming to in the parking lot, like later that afternoon, just walking around. I don't remember taking the fucking test. I don't remember driving there. I didn't remember where I parked. I'm like walking around, hitting my button for it to make noise. Eventually I found it. And I was like, oh my God. When I got that test back, it didn't even make sense. Like it was like from Snoopy and the Gang, the cartoons with the teachers writing on the road. Wah, 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 wah. That's what it looked like. Like it was just like, what? And I didn't say anything because of the experiences that I had in the past, like trying to like, damn, I was like, well, listen, I can still, and my next 3 accounting tests were all 100s. And after the 4th one, at that point, the professor and I were kind of cool. And I told him, I was like, I just need to tell you, man, that first test, like I was ridiculously high on pain pills. I don't even remember taking it. I had that. And he's like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah. I was like, I can validate everything. I was like, and he's like, why didn't you tell me? And I kind of told him in the past, dude, I had a real head injury and I didn't get play from nobody. I didn't see why you would. And he's like, oh my God. He's like, I'm going to make it 100. It's like, well done. And he did. So my grade out of accounting was perfect. Wow. He's like, you aced all of the 3 tests. Obviously you would have aced the first test. So.
Look at you. Just 100 just given away left and right.
Listen, I've only ever struggled with 2 classes in my life.
What were they?
Econometrics.
Oh, what?
Exactly. Exactly. That class can go fuck itself.
The worst class I ever took? Political science.
Really?
I was so excited to take political science at MTSU because I wanted to be an attorney, and I thought that was the class I needed on that pathway. Honestly, out of every course I ever took, that was the worst. I hated that class. I think it all comes down to the professor, the way he chose to teach that class. He did not teach it. To him, political science was geography. That's what I remember. We got tested every week about every single country, how to spell it, that's what I learned. Okay, maybe this isn't for me. I didn't want to be a politician. I didn't want to have to freaking debate what's going on the other side of the planet. Like I was in over my head.
You ran over your head.
I was in over my head. I was. None of it was what I thought was going to be. I hated that class. I almost dropped out of. Honestly, it's funny because it's one of the first college courses I took, and I almost dropped out of college because of that course.
What did you think it was going to be?
Again? I don't know. Not that. I thought it was going to be more of like, hey, this is what's right, this is what's wrong, this is how we deal with people, this is how we get people into court, this is how people get out of court. Like,
That's
not what
not
the
that.
title of the course was, okay? I get that now. But
Yeah.
and I got that then, but not at the time, because growing up the way we did, everybody said, "Oh, political science. If you want to be an attorney, go political science." And I never needed to take political science. I never needed to take that class ever. But whatever, I wound up not being an attorney anyway, so I guess it was always in the cards.
It just depends on the kind of attorney you want to end up being.
No, and I think that had a lot to do with it. For me being an attorney, I was all interested in family law. I was interested in I had no interest in, like I said, politics, the bigger picture, the bigger world. I wanted
Yeah.
small. I wanted family. I wanted homes. I wanted to help women because of what I had been through. I had no desire for everything they were trying to teach me in that class.
No ambitions for the macro, all about the micro. I got you.
And to be fair, I could have been an attorney. It could have happened.
Sure.
You know, I did graduate from there. I did major in criminal justice, minored in English. The thing is, when I graduated, the economy took a dump. It was 2006, and there were
Yep.
no jobs. And the way it works is, if you want to go into law school, you get a job like as a court reporter, or you do something, you know, to kind of stay in the field, but part-time, so that you can like study at your job and stuff. And it was so bad that actual attorneys had jobs as court reporters. There were no jobs. There was no point in going to law school. None. So I got a job as a probation officer. They were hiring. Worst job I've ever had.
I had probation from that office monitored my probation when I was on probation.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was hairy.
I'm sorry.
That the whole legal system there was just, it's a shit show. It's a shit show. No, it's it is what it is. You know, there was a time when, like, I thought I wanted to be an attorney when I went to school, and one of my professors was an attorney, and he's like, "Man, that's not what you think." He's like, "It's a lot of writing." He's like, "It's a lot of writing, a lot of reading." He's like, "You're not going to be in court. Like, it's nothing like that." And there's so many nuances to the laws. Most attorneys hate their life and hate their jobs. I'm like, thanks for that information. I appreciate that. Yeah, an honest look. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. It's kind of like, so I told you one class that I hated was econometrics. Econometrics was hard. It was hard. It tested me in a way I've never been tested before in my life. College, so like, I'm not a genius. I'm not trying to say I'm smart or anything. I'm just saying school was never difficult. College was not difficult in any shape or form. Econometrics was difficult. And it's just like statistical modeling, but we would do it with like economic basis, and you just these large frames, and you're using this math that doesn't math, you know, so you have to learn how to apply this math, all of which I forgot. Whatever.
Yeah,
you know, my son
using it. Yeah.
No, hell no. And nobody uses it. Nobody outside of the academic world uses that shit, and it's made up for those people. Like, the one thing I took away from economics is there's some fundamental principles that play. Everything else is bullshit. Like, it's just bullshit. It's bullshit by guys who are the smartest dude in the room, and they're just talking circles around everyone else, and they know it.
It's like
no
puzzles.
No one's going to call them on their bullshit. Yeah. So, and econometrics was difficult. I did well, but I genuinely had to work. Like, that was the only time I'd ever gone to study groups, ever, in college. I took anatomy and physiology 1 and 2. I took both of my chemistries, physics. Like, I've had difficult classes, because there was a time when I thought I wanted to be a pharmacist. And I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to school to be a pharmacist. So that was the path I took. And I spent a couple of years.
That could have been a good job. Yeah.
I realized I would hate it, because when I got to organic chemistry and I was going through that, and like, I was like, this is what pharmacy school is going to be like just this monotonous nonsense. Like, I hate this. And so that was one of the only classes I ever dropped, and I dropped it as soon as I was like, it's not that, oh, you can't do it or it's hard. I'm sure it is difficult when you get into it, but it's just, you have to take a solid accounting. Like, I had a cool chemistry teacher, so he made it fun, but even then I was really bored to tears. I was like, this is not fucking for me. And I was already rethinking things. I like biology. I liked all the labs. Physics was great. You know, math's math. It is what it is. And then as like an elective, I took an economics class, and I was like, oh my god, this is everything I ever wanted. Like, this is amazing. I have no idea how I'll ever use this at any point in my life, but if I have to study something and I feel like I have to, this is what I'm studying. That's what I pursued. And when I went to MTSU, I I think I had a double major at that time. Like, I got a lot of credits because I was going down that science path for a while that didn't apply to anything else.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was like, oh, I'll double major, and we was going to be in political science and economics. I had a lot of that. And then when I went to the other school, I ended up graduating from, because me and my wife were moving because she was pursuing different careers, so we had to keep moving. And then with the place I did go to, that wasn't even on the table, so I just finished with economics, and I just powered through.
It's crazy that you're about to major in political science, and I take one political science class, and I'm like, oh my god, I hate this.
Oh, loved it.
I'm so stupid.
I loved it. I loved it. I mean, that's economics. Honestly, that's economics. Like, on the economics, by definition, is the study of efficiency. And as a science, sure. But in truth, it's not. It's really people. And, everyone acts in their own best self-interest. And if you have a better understanding of the world on a macro scale, it helps you understand what they do on a micro scale, and what they do on the micro, like what individual states do within themselves, how it affects in a geopolitical landscape. Like, and it also shows you everything is propaganda. Everything is propaganda. Like, that whole thing, and I've said it on here, and I've said it to lots of people, and people are like, that's awesome. It's not mine. I learned it from one of my econ professors. Like, anytime you read a headline and you feel a way, it was designed to make you feel that way. It's propaganda. And propaganda is a tool of the state. You know what I mean? It's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Art, culture is a tool of state. Jackson Pollock and that whole movement. Do you know that was funded by the CIA?
No.
Yeah, to fuck with the Russians.
Hmm.
The Russians have always been a little bit ahead of us in art and culture and things like that. Like, they genuinely are. And it's just a cultural thing for them. That's what they pursue. They have community centers that teach you how to play violin and clarinet, and classical music is played in subway stations, and chess is encouraged, and that's very Russian culture. That's not American culture. Yet America was trying to dominate the art, so what they did is take artists like Jackson Pollock and Andy Warhol and paid millions of dollars to these shell companies for their art, just to make the Russians go, what? The world's shifting. It was all a head game with them. And yet people were like, oh, it speaks to me. You're full of shit. You're low IQ. Like, that's always been my problem with art classes. Like, the sand bucket fell over. You're fucking low IQ. You're low IQ. Like, oh, we're so brilliant.
I'm not an Andy Warhol fan. I don't really care for his art at all. I don't get it. I don't.
And see, they'll argue that anytime you hear people, art's subjective, and it has to speak to you, and yes, to an extent. But here's the thing: we can look at the Mona Lisa, we can look at the sculpture of David, or anything that Raphael had done, any of the classics, and you will sit in awe at the statue of David, and just be, it's amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Like, I could weep. This is amazing. That's art. Not someone, I put my social security number on a board in a white paper because I'm deep and you're not understanding what this means. Stop. Mm-hmm. You're fucking low IQ and you have no talent. Like, that's the truth.
There's a lot of that.
There's a lot of that. And they just hide in the art world. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I have nothing to do with it. I have a friend who's I have two friends. Well, I'm not friends with her anymore. Not anything bad. She just moved away. She's an unbelievable fucking artist. And, like, the things she would do just to do them, like the paintings she would make, it was and she would use different mediums, things she'd never used before. And we would go over to my buddy's house, and it was his wife who was doing this, and it would just take your breath away. Is this a photorealistic painting you did with drops of wax? How did you do this? So I just had some spare time. You're just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's art. you know, or my buddy who is a trained artist, who works in like nuclear safety. You know him. I don't want to blast his name on here, but he's an incredible artist. It doesn't matter what he's working with. Like he's an artist. You know, he just sees the world that way. My daughter is an artist. You know, she's that unique art. She's a unique. All the art girls. Like, well, I'm unique and artsy. If you go to Savannah, they're all there in Savannah, right? Like because this SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design. Every girl there is a cliche of like, I'm unique and edgy. No, you're a rich girl pretending. Whereas someone like my daughter is that unique, weird person who kind of beats and sees the world askew, you know, without there's no effort involved. It's just
who she is. Yeah.
It's who she is. Yeah. She has the style that even when she wears, you know, like when she gets older, the art girls who want to be art girls will copy her. And she'll be unaware of it because that's literally not what's going through her mind. You know what I mean? It's just a weird thing, you know? I feel like a lot of low IQ people run to art to hide. Low IQ people with money.
Yeah. Because it sounds cool.
It sounds cool. It sounds cool, and no one can ever really call you on the bullshit.
Yeah. Because
you just don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
I took an art class once. Did you ever take art?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Yeah, well, I'm super crafty. I'm not artsy as far as I can't draw. Like I'm not an artist in that aspect, but I'm very creative. I'm super creative, super crafty. I just made a plant or a lamp over the weekend out of mosaic tiles, and
that's awesome.
I mean, I have an ashtray I just found when I was cleaning out that I had started out of the resin that you make, you know, and I had done layer after layer of this ashtray and this mold it's like a mountain landscape with a lake in the middle. And so I was doing like the white mountain peaks, and then it went into like the tree for the forest, and then it goes down with the blue at the lake. And I have like one more layer to finish that. I'm not an artist, but I'm crafty and I enjoy it.
I took an art class because I wanted to understand art, and I think it was like one of the required things that I could get into, right? But I took it seriously. It's not a serious subject.
No.
Maybe art history I could see being but like actual art, like creative art or whatever it was that I taken was not a serious, and the teacher was not a serious person. Anyway, everything came down to our final project, which I had not done, and I didn't know what to do. And I turned in a white blank like canvas. No, it's not a canvas. What, a poster board. Like we had to do a poster board. Like we could do a lot of things. You could do performative art. You could do what's your project? You know, oh, we're gonna share. And I turned it into her, and she's like, "There's nothing here." I was like, "I call it procrastination." She's like, "That's amazing." I was like, "You have like a fucking 72 IQ."
You got another 100, didn't you?
Fuck yeah, I did.
You're annoying.
I just told her everything she wanted to hear. It's like, it's procrastination. She's like, "I love it." It's like, "This is edgy. This is pushing."
So annoying.
I'm just like, I think I even told her, I was like, "I knew someone like you would understand." Oh, she loved me.
Just over here blowing smoke up asses.
100%.
Getting all the grades you need. You know, work smarter, not harder. That's a real thing.
Oh, so much of college is nonsense. You know, it's fucking nonsense. Oh.
Yeah. A lot of it's hard work too.
I don't know. I didn't encounter any of that.
Yeah, says the guy who's never struggled in a class ever his entire life. You know, let me tell you, my experience with college was a lot different because I had a whole bunch of babies at home, and we were struggling financially.
Yeah, I could see that.
I had to, you know, I was over here writing papers at 11 o'clock at night because it's the only time I could get everybody in bed and quiet. Yeah. And, you know, like college was hard for me. I did it. I had a 3.8, I think. Like I had I did really well. Because I took it serious, and I'm an overachiever, and I probably tried too hard and worked too hard and stressed myself out too hard, but it was
definitely
tough circumstances. I didn't know any different. I didn't know what to do. But
I took it seriously. I took it seriously.
that's why the class is like the political science. Like, yeah, we could talk about how hard that class was for me, but I had to go home to a whole bunch of babies, like trying to remember the things that this guy wanted me to. It was just the whole class was memorization. It wasn't, I didn't learn
Yes.
anything in that class. I
Yeah.
just was told to memorize for test after test. And it's like, fuck this. I got too many babies and too much shit going on. Teach me something. But
Yeah.
and I get it. I guess he was. It just
it's one aspect of it, right? Like there's one aspect of it that is that you have to understand, like, geography. Where's Azerbaijan? Why? Fucking matters. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
And
the
spell it.
population groups there
Oh,
matters. Yeah, the Kurdish groups there that flow over all these different areas, whether it be Iran or Afghanistan or Iraq. Like they're a Christian population that's their own nation within there that's persecuted. Like yeah, it's interesting. I mean, things like that are interesting, but ultimately, what does it matter? Not to daily life. I get that. Yeah, that's something like that would be hard. I was in a blessed situation where I could just focus on school. In that moment, I was just able to focus on school. My wife had just graduated and she got her first real job, making more money than both of her and I made, like, before, and I just worked while she was in school. Every shitty job I could have, 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, whatever, give it to me. And so, yeah, it turned into that opportunity that I was able to do some, just kind of pursue whatever I wanted to pursue, to see what I wanted to do. My biology teacher really wanted me to like do that. She's like, there's all these opportunities you could. I was like, I'm not going to be in a lab. I told her, I was like, listen, this is fun, but if I had to do this every day, nope. She was so sweet. She loved me. She loved me. But yeah, fuck that.